If you're like us, then you loved Matt Stone and Trey Parker's last foray into the gaming world, South Park and the Stick of Truth. The game reflected the edgy and dark sense of humor of the show while paying homages to the fantasy and RPG tropes we all love. With their latest game just released, South Park: The Fractured But Whole, these are just some things we loved about this innovative and imaginative game. Before we dive in, make sure to hit our subscribe button to keep up to date with everything here on The Gamer. Superpowers. In South Park: The Fractured But Whole, it's superhero time. The boys trade in their wizard robes and cloaks from the last game and don capes and cowls this time around.
Everybody switch games, we're playing superheroes now!
From a focus on fantasy and Game of Thrones to a new focus on parodying Marvel and DC, you find yourself dropped in the middle of a civil war, so to speak. When you start the game, the Coon will let you choose from 3 classes: Speedster, Brutalist, or Blaster. The Blaster is your de facto ranged attacker, Brutalist is your heavy hitter, and Speedster is your all-around specialty class. These various dynamics lead to almost limitless combinations of different team members and abilities that allow for the game to be endlessly entertaining. With so many superhero movies in theaters within the last few years, we're excited to see all the references, Easter eggs, and sick burns that Matt and Trey are able to fire off at the movies we all love. Evolved gameplay. Just because the iconic animation style of the show hasn't changed in over 20 seasons doesn't mean that Matt and Trey are scared of innovation. With the use of the new classes we mentioned before, the combat in South Park: The Fractured But Whole is pretty revamped. And it includes some sweet new additions that even Craig would sound excited for. Where your character was previously nailed down to the same spot on the battlefield, in the new South Park: The Fractured But Whole, there's an added level of strategy as you can now move around into different positions during your turn. This means if you play your cards right, you can use multiple party members to surround baddies for total domination. Summons and farts. We love when games don't just repackage the same old stuff, but instead reinvent what we loved and give us new features to become obsessed with mastering. There's a couple more unique gameplay elements introduced in South Park: The Fractured But Whole that we'd like to highlight. Something that was kind of lackluster in the last game but makes a brilliant return this time around is summoning. The first summon you find is Moses of the Super Best Friends. Moses can be used to heal your party, which is super useful early on. Other summons include Ned and Jimbo gunning down your foes, Gerald letting bombs fly, or even Classy running over your enemies with her car. Another new feature that we can't wait to play with are time farts. Yep, you heard us right. You have the power to control and manipulate the very fabric of time from your bowels. Say what you want, but you have to compliment these games on their creativity. You can also debuff your foes by throwing a fart into their face before you engage in combat. Wow, I don't know if there's been a game since Primal Rage that had such useful farts. Super references. We're so excited to really unpack all the sweet MCU and DCEU references and features laid out in this game. The new addition of Detective Mode is an obvious tip of the cowl to Batman and the Arkham games. This mode allows the new kid to find hidden items, see if NPCs will follow you, and discover the strength of your enemies before engaging with them in battle. The best part of the Stick of Truth was the story, and we're sure that Fractured But Whole will deliver in that department. The story itself is basically a parody of Marvel's cinematic plan, boiling down the phase plans and asking meta questions like which of the gang will get their own standalone film, which 2 superheroes will team up to form a highly profitable dynamic duo. After all, no one wants to end up stuck with a simple Netflix series, Iron Fist style. Well, there you have it, folks. Those were some of the things that we're most excited about in the new South Park game. Isn't South Park just the best? Are there any sweet features that we missed? Which one was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. While you're here, don't forget to like and share our video. And if you like this video, check out some more awesome stuff in our playlist. We promise you won't regret it. And as always, thanks for watching The Gamer.